Stuck in a bit of a rut with my photography recently, I plan to travel with my wife to the Longshaw Estate in the Peak District. Inspired having recently seen a video from Steve Stain and seeing what a wonderful location it was. Open pasture lands and incredible gnarly oak trees, it looked like a photographer's dream. However, on waking that morning, my wife told me that she'd barely slept all night due to a severe migraine. Umming and ahhing on whether I should make the journey to the Peak District on my own, my wife insisted that I should go out and enjoy a morning's woodland photography, and that's exactly what I did. Setting off at 4 AM and driving through patches of fog, I was hopeful of wonderful misty conditions that you normally dream about when shooting woodland scenes. Of course, it never worked out that way. It rarely does. I arrived to blue skies as far as the eye could see, and not even the slightest hint of mist. While you may think this was a disappointment to me, it wasn't. I was just appreciative of being out there in nature, enjoying the sounds of the morning call and scouting a new location, giving me ideas for future photo opportunities when the conditions are just right. So I've been walking along for a little bit, and I have come across this tree here. It looks like a silver birch, really old one with lots of moss on it, and at the base of it is this big boulder also covered in moss. But then in the background there you've got some Scots pines, it looks like, with this branch hanging down, and it's really quite a nice scene. So I've just experimented a little bit with the focal lengths that I've got, and found that actually I'm probably better with my 100 to 400. I'm at the short end of the range, which is 100mm, and it's just filling the frame quite nicely. I'm probably going to chop a little bit off the side, so maybe opting for a 4x5 crop, but it's just really quite nice because you've got this little tiny branch coming down off the silver birch, which is kind of mirroring one that's hanging down off the Scots pine there in the background, and the branch on the Scots pine is just sort of arching over some of the leaves of the Scots pine. It looks really quite nice. Being very careful not to include any of the sky in the frame that you can see there in the background. It's all just about the rock, the silver birch and the Scots pine there in the background. Really quite nice, and a fantastic start to the morning. It's just nice to come here, somewhere new, and just explore it really, because it looks absolutely fascinating. You know, a lot of people head straight into Padley Gorge, but yeah, they're missing all of this. It's really quite nice. So I'm going to pop this shot on screen for you now, and I'm going to walk along a bit further and see if we can frame up some more compositions. Come across this absolutely amazing oak tree. It was in one of Steve's videos, and wow, the shape to it is absolutely incredible. But I'm not going to shoot it today because as you can probably see, the lighting's very harsh, and there's just no separation to the background. So what I'm going to do instead is take a photo on my phone to get the geotag, so I know exactly where to come back to find this tree in future and shoot it in the right conditions, like Steve got in his video. I'll put a link to his video below, go and check it out. But wow, what a beautiful specimen of a tree. The shape, the moss, everything about it just looks absolutely incredible. One to come back to. Well, I came across this tree, which I think was one of Steve's best ever photos in the woodland. I just absolutely love it. It reminds me of something you'd see at Fennell Forest in Madeira. This beautiful oak tree with this lovely arching shape over there, sort of intermingling with the one in the background there. It's just absolutely beautiful. I haven't got the right conditions for it this morning, but I'm going to try and shoot it anyway because we do have some nice light. And I'll just check on the back of the camera when we're getting some starbursts come through. So I'm going to have to move quickly on this because, as you can see, the light is just moving all the time. I had it on this rock a minute ago. I had taken that shot already, but now it's on this rock here. So I'm going to move forward a little bit and try and grab that shot. Right, so I'm at 20 mil, really quite close to this rock, and I'm right down the floor here, just trying to make some sort of use of this beautiful moss that's lit up at the moment. And we are getting a lovely sun star come through, just breaking through the branches here. So quickly frame this up. I am bracketing the exposure because it's a very high dynamic scene. The sun coming through, kissing this moss and kissing the grass, it really is quite bright, and I've got a bit of the sky in the frame as well. Shooting 2 shots under and 2 shots over exposed, just to try and get as much dynamic range in this image as possible. But it looks really nice on the back of the camera. Again, would love some fog. Haven't got fog, but I'm making the most of it. This is an absolutely stunning scene. Shooting at f/18 to try and make the most of that sun star. 2-second time, I take the shot again. Here's the shot. Absolutely amazing. Possibly 2 of my favourite ever trees right next to each other. 10 minutes from the car, somewhere I can come back to really easily when the conditions are just right. Like I say, we don't have the fog today. It is a bright blue sky and the lighting is very harsh. These photos might not turn out very good. That's fine, not a problem. But I'm really happy my wife pushed me to get out on my own this morning. I know, she really wanted to come with me, but unfortunately she had a migraine. But she said, look, just go and enjoy yourself. And I'm really glad she did, because I haven't been out on my own for photography now for quite some months. And I think that's why many of us do landscape photography. I know I certainly do. Well, that's why I started. Just forgetting the working week, forgetting anything bad that's going on in the world, coming out somewhere like this, on a day like this, where it's just beautiful, calm, got the birds tweeting in the background, sun on my face. It's just beautiful. It just gives you an opportunity to really gather your thoughts. And yeah, it's been a pretty horrible couple of months. Unfortunately, I lost my dog at the end of the year, and work's been a bit horrible, to be honest with you. But yeah, this more than makes up for it. It really does. It's just so good to get out. Like, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy going out with the 7.1 guys. I do enjoy the photography collaborations that I have, but sometimes you just need to get out on your own and just enjoy what nature has to offer. Anyway, a little bit deep for me, but yeah, just thought I'd share that. Anyway, as I say, the conditions aren't particularly great. There does seem to be a touch of haze up over that way, so I'm going to head up over that way and see what I can find. But if I don't get any great images this morning, so what? I found somewhere that I can come back to, as I say, within 10 minutes from the car, and just enjoy it. It really is spectacular, and yeah, just good to get out. So I've been walking for a bit, haven't really seen any compositions. I've seen some lovely trees, and certainly ones I'll come back to in the future when the conditions are right. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunity around here. There really is, in the right conditions. But came into this little bit of woodland here, saw this fallen log, and thought I'd enjoy my coffee. Hopefully it's still warm. I made it at 4 o'clock this morning. It's now 9 o'clock. Ouch. Yeah, that's still hot. I'll tell you what, this is not sponsored, but these chilly water bottles, they are something else. They really do keep the drinks nice and hot. Sometimes too hot. But yeah, I'm just going to sit here for a bit, enjoy a coffee, listen to the birds. Then I'll move on and see if I can find something else. Well, I've come to this part of the woodland here, which has got loads of little oak trees dotted around it, and there's some lovely grasses in between it. So I'm going to spend a bit of time here and see if I can frame up some compositions. Not necessarily that are going to work today, but ones I can come back to in the future. And I've already found this one here, so I'll just walk you over here. You've got this main oak tree here. You've got this branch leaning down, and if I just come over to the left slightly, it's just kind of like arching in and sort of going underneath this oak tree in the background here, which is really quite nice. And then you've got another oak tree in the bottom, or pretty much the left hand third there. Yeah, really nice scene. It does need fog though to cut out some of that background and just minimise the sky in the frame. But generally speaking, I think that would make quite a nice shot. I'm going to pop this on screen now so you can see what I'm talking about with regards to the composition. But yeah, one to return to. So bear with me on this, because you're going to need to use a bit of imagination on these next two images. Looking at the photo here, I think it does have some potential, but with the conditions that I had on this day, unfortunately it just doesn't work. The sky is far too dominant in the scene, and it just lacks that separation with the trees right in the background. But definitely a strong composition and one to return to in the future. Again, another that doesn't work today, but in the right conditions, yeah, that's spectacular. I mean, this tree here, this silver birch, is basically growing out of the ground sideways. Very different, but yeah, with a bit of mist, the right conditions, I think that looks spectacular. Come across this lovely scene here, these oak trees, and you've got this branch coming down here which is creating this lovely curve, framing this oak tree in the middle. And just been very careful with the positioning, because there's two more oak trees in the background as well, so making you got some separation between this tree, the mid sort of ground tree, and the ones in the background as well. Again, I know I keep saying this, but it really does need fog for this to work, or at least some less harsh conditions, because the bright blue sky that we've got and the harsh light we've got on the tree, I don't think really works. I have taken a shot and I will process it. Who knows, maybe it will turn out better than I actually think. But I've also taken a photo on my phone, so I get the geo tag, so I know exactly where to come back to take this shot when the conditions are just right. But yeah, I absolutely love this scene. That whole arch there that's framing those trees just works an absolute treat. Pop this on screen for you now. Again, I think I got a bit ahead of myself with this image. Really, in these conditions, it just doesn't work. But the more I look at it, I don't even think it would work in foggy conditions either. The oak tree that's lit up really doesn't have enough separation to the ones in the background. And I think even with fog, I don't know if there'd be enough separation there to make a compelling image. So I will return here at some point, and hopefully if we do get foggy conditions, I'll have a look at this and might change my mind. But either way, it was just great to get out and find new locations. Okay, so I've walked around this part of the woodland for quite a while now. Found a few more interesting trees and ones I'll definitely come back to in the future, but I think I'm done for the morning. As I said, despite the wife having a migraine, I'm really glad she kicked me up the butt and said, look, just go on your own. And yeah, obviously that's exactly what I've done, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's very easy to go out sometimes in the hope of, you know, really good conditions and then come back really disappointed. But if you just go out with the thought process of just getting out there in nature, going for a walk, and if you get any photos, it's a bonus, you can't lose. And that's exactly what's happened this morning. I've not had the great conditions, probably haven't got great photos, but I've just enjoyed being out in nature. It's really good for your mental health. So I highly recommend you get out there and enjoy it. Anyway, just want to say thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please consider hitting the like button. And if you really enjoyed it, it'd help if you subscribe to the channel. And maybe just leave a comment below, you know, what's the reason you started landscape photography? Really interested to hear that. Anyway, thank you again. See you soon.